Hello and welcome to another Dota-Two cast. I'm WSLK and joining me is Zegas. Today we have an entertaining, about 40-minute long game for you guys. Just a quick question. We haven't been including the hero picks or any discussion of counter picking or just the thought process that goes into selecting heroes in any of our casts so far. We're just interested to know if you guys would like us to include that or not, so feel free to leave a comment below stating your opinion. Anyways, let's jump right into this game. On the Radiant team, we have Zeb playing Ancient Apparition, Dilated Mind on Lion, Wedge playing Morphling, Snaking on Nightstalker, and BBT playing Doombringer.
And on the Dire side, we have Envelop playing Pugna, Steve on Venomancer, X Music on Storm Spirit, Black Shane playing Skeleton King, and Snoopy playing Sand King.
And for the laning, it looks like top we're going to have this Ancient Apparition and Doom. Middle we're going to have Nightstalker. And then bottom we're going to have a Lion and Morphling dual lane for the Radiant.
Looks like Snoopy is going to be headed top with his haste. We might be seeing a little bit of a first blood coming out of here, but it looks like BBT and Zeb both realize that Sand King is not in a lane and is probably trying to first blood, so they do back up next to the tower.
Yeah, it looks like Doombringer, aware of this probable tri-lane, is going to be backing out of the lane, and I suspect he's probably going to be going to jungle right now to pick up some experience and let Ancient Apparition gather any solo XP if he can ever get near the creeps. But little do they know, it looks like Sand King's actually heading down bottom, and he's actually forced the Radiant team to split up their dual lane top, and now they're going to be kind of screwed against this solo Skeleton King.
Yeah, it looks like Dilated Mind does throw out a stun on Envelop, but it doesn't look like Envelop is going to be going down. He is next to that tower, so they are choosing wisely to back on up.
Yep, Snoopy has returned to the lane. He's going to throw out a stun right there. A little bit of harass going out on a Dilated Mind. And Snoopy is probably going to have to back out right here because of the buildup of Radiant creeps.
It looks like BBT is still continuing to jungle, even though he knows that Sand King is down bottom. This is really going to let Skeleton King really take advantage of the situation. It looks like he bought a Glove of Haste first, so I'm thinking Midas?
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, this solo Ancient Apparition, not even able to get close enough to the creeps for experience. As you can see, he's still level 1. Skeleton King already being level 3. Venomancer with that Venomous Gale is just really, really strong. One of the strongest harassment heroes that basically can just prohibit him from getting anywhere near the creeps to even try and contest Skeleton King from getting any of the creeps.
Yeah, just looking at Skeleton King's farm right now, 13, 2 minutes into the game, so he's definitely capitalizing on that. BBT still deciding to sit in the jungle. I don't know what he's really thinking about right now. He knows that Zeb is just struggling, only level 2 right now, and he's basically getting solo experience. That he's really far behind.
Yeah, and something we haven't mentioned right now is there's actually, concerning the middle lane, Music has been doing a very good job of harassing Snaking. So you can see Snaking down to 1 bottle charge now, Musica having a full bottle. He's really doing a good job of taking advantage of the range that Storm Spirit has, allowing him to keep Snaking off of the creeps really early in the game, which is what you really have to do against a Nightstalker. It looks like Nightstalker is going to be going on to Storm Spirit. He's going to be throwing out another Static Remnant, and it looks like Snaking's actually going to go down and give first blood to Storm Spirit right here. Definitely a great pickup for the Dire team. You never want a Nightstalker to be off to a good start, and Music has done a great job of shutting him down right here.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You really need to make sure that Nightstalker is kept down, because if he gets a good farm, as soon as it turns that first night, it is going to be a really, really tough nighttime for the opposing team.
Yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle fighting against a Nightstalker with, say, either treads or phase boots when that first night hits. His increased move speed, the passive, is just amazing for mobility and stuff. He doesn't even really need a TP to surprise people at night.
It looks like Steve is going to be chased here by BBT and Zeb, and Zeb does choose to turn around there, but it looks like BBT is going to be going down due to that Gale from Venomancer. A little bit of over-aggressiveness there.
Yeah, that was good positioning by Venomancer, bringing them into that really narrow corridor right there so he could get both of them easily with that Gale ensuring that he would get away and allowing Skeleton King to catch up, making it so they can easily take out this Doombringer. Of course, the slow from Venomancer's passive and Gale, and then the slow on top of Hellfire Blast from Skeleton King.
Looks like Dilated Mind is going to go in on Envelop right here, but no, he's being blocked by Snoopy, and Dilated Mind might be going down here. If Snoopy does stun on Dilated Mind, and he does go down. That was really over-aggressive play just a few minutes ago. Actually, a few seconds ago, he just TP'd in after dying in the same manner, and completely let himself get taken advantage of again. He needs to tone it down a little bit and play a little bit more conservatively.
Yeah, I think the over-aggressiveness, what had a hand in that was after he respawned and returned to the lane with full health, he figured he could afford to be over-aggressive and maybe win some of that lane power back with the full health he had gotten. Looks like Snoopy and Envelop going on this Morphling, but he's going to be able to waveform away right now. They're doing a good job of harassing. They just harass this Morphling, so he has no mana now, so if they do choose to go on him again, he isn't going to be able to escape. As you can see, he is wisely staying very close to the tower.
Looks like we have a small initiation here in middle. X-Musica does spot Dilated Mind, and he is able to get the morph followed by the stun out. And this is a huge pickup for Snaking here. He's going to have not only 20 seconds of free farm, but it's also nighttime, so he's about to dominate this game, I think. As he does get his boots out, so he is going to have a pretty strong night, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that was pretty much perfect timing to get that kill. As you can see, he was right at that 6-minute mark when it turned night, and he got that invisibility rune for free, and it looks like he's going to be going up to gank top. Up top, it looks like there's a Gale and a stun going out on a BBT on this Doombringer, and he is going to fall. Nightstalker coming up, throwing out a Void on a Skeleton King. Skeleton King going to go down as well. Zeb and Snaking probably going to have to retreat right here. Yeah, Musica activating his haste rune. He is going to be going on this Ancient Apparition here. Snaking going to try and come back in. He's going to throw out a Void onto this Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit having to bottle away up when he's running away, and he is going to escape. Pretty much all the heroes escaping pretty low health from that exchange. That was a very good kind of battle of finesse at the end there. The Ancient Apparition and Nightstalker having to dance around from that Storm with haste. It looks like Nightstalker choosing to loop around right here, and Storm actually choosing to kill this neutral camp in the forest. It looks like Nightstalker is going to see this Storm. He's going to turn around and void him. Looks like Snaking going to pick up a killing spree right here. Venomancer probably going to go down next as well. Skeleton King, however, going on to this Ancient Apparition at the same time. Ancient Apparition really low. Snaking coming. He is going to actually block this Ancient Apparition. Black Shatten just barely getting a stun off right there. Snaking not having enough mana to pursue with another Void. Very intense exchange there. I think it ended up 2 for 2 overall. Or actually 1 for 2 overall.
Yeah, that gank at the very start there on Skeleton King was very, very needed. If you look at Skeleton King's farm right now, he already had Midas since, I think, 4 minutes into the game. And he has enough money for boots, and he's sitting on 900 gold right now. I think Snaking's efforts need to be around top. Like, Black Shaitan cannot afford to get any more farmed at this point of the game. Because thanks to that Midas, that's pretty much going to guarantee him a certain level of farm all the way through the game.
Yeah, Midas does guarantee you 250 gold per minute because, or not 250, about 200.
We got a little bit of initiation down on Snoopy. Snaking did catch Snoopy out of position there. He was able to send out that crippling fear to silence Snoopy, and they easily took him down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Midas giving about 190 gold every 100 seconds, so that's close to around like 150 gold per minute. Plus, you have the 60 gold per minute from the natural tick, so you're automatically getting over 200 without having to take any creeps or anything. Skeleton King being one of those heroes that can get away with a early Midas because of his natural tankiness and his ultimate. Looks like Envelop going to be going out onto Dilated Mind right here. He's going to miss his Nether Blast right there. Snoopy throwing out a stun. They could probably take down Dilated Mind, but it looks like Pugna choosing to back out right there. They could have had Dilated Mind really easily, but I guess they didn't know if there were any TPs coming.
It looks like X-Musica is rotating down bottom, perhaps trying to go for a gank, but they do see that Snaking is right behind them thanks to that well-placed ward. So they are definitely going to turtle it up and try to stop Snaking from becoming more dominant in this nighttime phase.
Yeah, those wards definitely crucial right there. Seeing that there were 4 Radiant heroes to their 3, they wisely chose to back up right there. Looks like Snake King going to be swinging around the back right here. They are aware of that because of the ward. Looks like Pugna and Storm going to be heading towards the tower. Snake King running out from behind the tower. He's going to spot Pugna throwing out a Void right there. At the same time, it looks like Sand King going to be stunning Wedge and ultimating. Music is going to be rolling forward. Looks like Snake King going to get the kill on Pugna, and the Dire is going to exchange that for a kill on Morphling.
I don't know if I agree with that exchange. Looking at that Sand King, he actually didn't start channeling his ultimate. He didn't actually throw out a stun either. He just ran up to Morphling and channeled that ultimate. I think that it would have been better if they had just made sure that Snake King didn't kill anything, and probably they would have been able to easily take out Snake King in the process, losing nobody. So I'm not sure if I agree with that play.
Mm-hmm. Well, I personally think it was a good trade for the Dire because the Morphling is definitely way more of a critical hero than the Dire's Pugna, as well as the fact that, I mean, Snake King's really the only person on the Radiant team with any, like, sizable farm right now, and there's only so dangerous that a Night Stalker can get because his strength really dwindles later on in the game. Looks like there's going to be some action top. Going to see a Venomous Gale. Looks like there's going to be a Cold Feet and some nukes on top of this Venomancer, taking him down, and Sand King and Skeleton King are going to be backing out right here.
Yep. Taking a quick look at the creep score, Black Shane's sitting at 53 in 10 minutes, so he is getting a little bit too overfarmed. It looks like we do have initiation by Black Shane onto Zeb. Snoopy followed that up with a stun, and Zeb does go down. And like I was saying, Black Shane's farm is just getting way out of hand here. I mean, we've been talking about this since the start of the game, and it's just spiraling out of control at this point. They need to try to figure a way to stop this Skeleton King from getting so farmed.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. If we actually take a minute to look at the items real quick, it's actually 10 minutes in, we'll see Ancient Apparition having boots and some gauntlets of strength and wards being the support bitch role. Lion, same story, however he does have a magic wand. Wedge on the Morphling, looks like he's got a Wraithband, boots, and a Ring of Health, probably going to be going for a Lincoln Sphere. Snake King having Phase Boots, Bottle, Magic Wand, and Urn, and then Doombringer looks like he has the beginnings of a Vanguard as well as boots.
And on the Dire side, Envelop looks like he is going to be going for a mechanism for the pushing power with Pugna, since he did pick up that headdress. Steve looks like he's going to the very standard build. We have a little bit of action here middle. We might be seeing X Musica go down here to Snake King, but Snoopy is there to save X Musica, and looks like Snoopy is going to get caught here thanks to Dilated Mind stun, and Snoopy is going to go down any second, and he does go down. Very good decision here on Snoopy's part to save X Musica and bite the bullet himself.
Yeah, Storm definitely being a much more crucial hero early on than Sand King. You don't want that Storm to die, especially because gold and experience goes so far on him early on in the game. Once he gets to that level 11, 12-ish, when he has his nuke stuns maxed out and he has that level 2 of his ball lightning, he's a serious threat for supports. He can just kind of roll to the back of any fight and take out a support almost instantly. Looks like up top.
Up on top, Black Shane just went down, but he is going to be able to turn this around on BBT, and BBT will go down. Skeleton King is now on a killing spree, so he's getting even more farm. Snake King might be able to take Black Shane down. He is moving in front of him, so good blocking effort there, and he is able to take him down, so this is a huge pickup for this Radiant team, and it looks like Steve is also going to be going down. Snake King should be backing up here. No, it looks like he is going to sacrifice himself to ensure that kill on Steve.
Yeah, and what started out as a 0-4 lead for the Dire team, it's now 10-10, even in hero kills. But that could be a bit deceiving considering the amount of creep score that the Radiant has an advantage in. Looks like down bottom, Wedge running away from a couple nukes from Snoopy and Envelop. Envelop choosing to stay behind and get the tower. Looks like Snoopy chasing this Morphling. He is going to get another Burrow Strike off before Morphling's waveform is off cooldown, and he is going to pick up a kill right there. The Dire picking up some serious gold there with that tower kill as well as the kill on Morphling.
Yeah, just kind of looking at the difference in gold earn chart, they're just south of 5,000, approaching the 6,000 gold advantage mark. So that just tells you how deceiving the kill score can actually be. 5,000 gold, or pretty much 6,000 gold at this point is huge, absolutely huge difference between the two teams.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've been focusing a lot on how much they needed to help out this top because of Skeleton King's farm, but I think what the Radiant really needed to do is because that top lane was lost as soon as they thought it was a tri-lane, I think Ancient Apparition actually needed to go bottom, and Doombringer needed to stay top and try and get solo experience because he's pretty tanky, so he's probably going to survive to Gale, especially with his Scorched Earth ability.
Looks like we have a small initiation here down bottom. It looks like as soon as Dilated Mind tried to cast his ultimate, Pugna's Nether Ward actually sniped him and got the kill. We might be seeing Snoopy go down here, and he does Burrow Strike into the trees here. It looks like a TP is going to be coming out any second here. Snaking deciding that... he'd just rather go back and farm rather than using that Void to cancel his TP. Perhaps he thought he already gotten out.
Yeah, definitely blunder by Snaking there. He probably could have picked up the kill on Sand King. As I was saying earlier, I think it was a major blunder by the Radiant team not to send Ancient Apparition bottom and at least win that bottom lane so Morphling could have farm, because it's bad that the opponent's carry's getting farm. I'll admit it. But the thing you don't want to do is just sit around and let them get farm. It would have been really hard for them to come back and try and win that top lane. They should have focused their efforts on the bottom lane so they weren't losing all their lanes at once. And you see, this Pugna and Sand King are major assets for the Dire team right now. Pugna having a mechanism already. Sand King with his arcane boots. Looks like they're going to be getting a gank middle. Night Stalker going down to a combination of stuns from Storm and Sand King right there.
I think I completely agree with your point. If they had just left it up to where Morphling was getting the same farm as Skeleton King, they definitely would be ahead right now because Snake King played a really strong first night, and that could have put them significantly ahead. Had he done the same thing, except Morphling was possessed the equivalent farm of Black Shaitan.
Mm-hmm. So I think the thing that you just never want to do if the opposing carry is getting a ton of farm is just sit around on your ass and hope it's going to get better. Because that's really what Radiant did. They kept all their lanes the same. They didn't change anything. Something you need to do is you need to adjust how you're playing the game when the game's being played.
We got a small initiation here down middle, and Dilated Mind just gets bursted down by X Musica. And it looks like they are going to get out scot-free. But no, Snake King does get a silence on X Musica, and X Musica might be going down here. But no, he's able to ball lightning up onto that cliff. Snoopy does stun on Snake King. Snake King does look like he's going to be going down here. At the same time, BBT does pick up the kill on X Musica. And we might be seeing Snoopy go down, but he does Burrow Strike up onto the hill, and he will be safe.
Yeah, that was definitely a good exchange for the Radiant, I would say, actually, picking up that Storm only for their Lion, as well as being able to defend that tower. But it's a serious problem with this Pugna being farmed right now, because the Pugna on top of the Venomancer being relatively farmed is just allowing them to push down towers no problem. Pugna and Venomancer are some of the best pushers. They can hold positions really well with Nether Ward as well as Toxin Wards. It's hard for any team early on the game to push on them, except for teams with Vanguards, because Vanguard's definitely a pretty good item against Nether Wards because it's a ton of instances of really low damage, so it blocks almost all of it.
Yes, it does. And you do raise a very good point. It looks like we have a small initiation here onto Snake King. X Musica might be able to take Snake King down, but he does get the silence off, and he's backed up by Dilated Mind. Dilated Mind looks like he is going to be going down thanks to that Snoopy stun. And it looks like everyone else is going to get out fine. No, a quick waveform into X Musica takes him down.
Yeah, another bad trade. It looks like another line for Storm. We've seen this one before. And it looks like Snake King going to be going on to Snoopy right here, throwing out a Void and a Silence onto Sand King, and he is going to be going down to Snake King right there to one last auto attack up that hill. I would think that the Radiant is going to probably try and take out this tower right here. However, their creeps are really far behind, and it's going to give the Dire team time to recover. It looks like Venomancer teleporting in.
Just like you said before, we're going to see beautiful defense here from Pugna's Nether Ward, and Steve is just going to start spamming those Plague Wards. We'll see if they're going to be able to maybe make an attempt at pushing this.
Yeah, and you see, the heroes are just preoccupied with the wards attacking because, wards, 38 damage. If you've got 5 of those up, it's a crap ton of damage. It can kill your supports, no problem.
Shadow Shaman ultimate right there for you for free, essentially.
Yeah, and it's not like you can clear them out with spells or anything. You have to actually kill them individually with auto attacks, which is a pain in the butt, because even if you nuke down all the creeps and start pushing the tower, the wards are all still there to defend.
And they're sitting at 450 HP, so it would take them quite some time, I would imagine, to actually knock those down.
Yeah, definitely major pain. As you can see, Sand King actually picked up some wards pretty dutifully. That's something I like to see. Heroes that aren't really devoted supports getting wards as well. Some people consider Sand King to be a support. I think he's kind of a borderline support. He really only needs, arcane boots as well as blink to be really effective late in the game. So there's no harm in delaying that blink dagger for another, 30 seconds by buying another ward and helping your team much more in the present.
Yeah, wards can, in my opinion, they pay for themselves no matter what the situation. I mean,
yeah.
If you avoid getting ganked once, that ward already paid for itself and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I completely agree with you. If no one else is picking up those wards, it's definitely the best decision, bar none, to pick up a ward.
Yeah, and we've hit about 20 minutes right now, so I'm going to take another quick look at the items. It looks like on the Radiant team we have Ancient Apparition, or actually we do have an engagement going on in this Radiant jungle right here. Looks like a silence going out onto Snoopy playing Sand King right here. Doom going out onto Musica on Storm. Looks like Doom and Nightstalker are going to be going ahead of the rest of the team, chasing the Storm down right here. Looks like Storm is going to be going down to combine Level Death and Void. And it appears as though the Dire team is just going to back off right now. Good kill going on at Sand King right here, but this whole time they seem to be ignoring that the Skeleton King is just getting complete free farm top, and he's going to be taking out this tower as well, netting him pretty much as much gold as the Dire lost with those 2 deaths.
Funny enough, we were talking just now about the wards. It looks like we have a small initiation here on Envelop, but nothing is going to come of it. But thanks to that ward on that high ground, they were able to see Snoopy just burrow strike up there and knock them down. So it's pretty hilarious that we were just picking up on that subject. And Black Shane just picked up his Maelstrom, and we're going to be seeing a Mjolnir pop out anytime now. He does have 2,100 gold, and he does already have the recipe, so he's just going to go back to that secret shop and pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just so far ahead of everybody. I can't imagine this game lasting very much longer, to be honest.
Yeah, Mjolnir definitely being like a troll item on Skeleton King. He's got Mjolnir, Treads, Midas, and Armlet, all items that give raw attack speed, so he's attacking ridiculously fast now. Almost twice per second. As you can see him just kind of like whack down the creep wave and proc a bunch of lightning bolts right there. Definitely kind of ridiculous. But, I mean, there's not really any way they can stop him.
It looks like the Dire is setting up to do a Roshan kill now that Steve is spamming those Plague Wards all over the place. I mean, he's one of those heroes that could just take him down by himself if he so chooses, thanks to those wards.
Yeah, just the versatility in Venomancer's wars is ridiculous. You can do like anything. You can defend, push, kill neutrals. You can even kill Ancients with Venomancer at level 7 really easily. And then on top of that, it makes killing Roshan a piece of cake with your team.
They do catch Snoopy out of position. They do get the silence off on Snoopy, but Snoopy is going to be safe thanks to that nice Force Staff Fuse by that Pugna. And it looks like they are going to be focusing down on Steve. Steve gets bursted down absolutely immediately. A Doom going out on to Envelop. I don't know if I agree with that since X Musica was right there. And it looks like BBT is going to be going down, but no, he does get away. Snoopy does go down thanks to that nice stun. And Black Shane just coming out of nowhere, taking the triple kill, and he's whacking on a wedge, mega kill, and snaking.
Yeah, rampage on Skeleton King right there. Jesus, just coming out of nowhere and whacking everyone to death with lightning bolts.
Honestly, I think we're going to award the first ever janitor award to Black Shane. He just showed up on the scene. There was a mess right in that Roshan area, and he just mopped that up. He just completely just wiped that team off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and Snaking throwing out some G's right there. He did buy back, trying to take out that Roshan before they could finish him off, but it looks like he's gonna chase onto this Pugna instead. He is going to throw out a void. It looks like Pugna did a nice job of baiting, waiting to use that mechanism to the last second, getting him way into their territory. And Snake King is going to go down and return to the newly revived Dire Heroes.
And you know what? During the course of that entire team battle, Skeleton King didn't actually die. He still had reincarnation. So that's just kind of the landslide that we were talking about since the start of the game. I mean, he is just so far ahead. They couldn't even kill him once. And now that he has an Aegis to top it all off, he's probably not going to die for the rest of the entire game.
Yeah,
and he does pick up another Hyperstone. So he's going to be attacking very quickly.
Yeah, over twice per second. Maximum attack speed is actually 0.3 seconds per attack, so he's almost at maximum attack speed right now, being 0.48 seconds per attack. So imagine just him whacking you as fast as like a Windrunner Focus Fire. That's kind of ridiculous.
That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, he almost just like smacked that Morphling across the face pretty much instantly right there. And we are going to see him take out this Doombringer as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to boss it up by diving their base. No problem. Snake King does look like he's going to try to go for Black Shane here, but he does pop the Mjolnir and try to fight back, but he does go down.
Yeah, no bigs though.
But thanks to Reincarnation, he's going to be back.
And he still has a Geas too, so it's not like it matters.
That's right,
if he dies again.
Geas.
In fact, he's choosing to dive even more, going on to Snake King again. Looks like there's going to be a cold feet and some slows going on him. I imagine he's going to die again right here. Yep. And what do you know? He's back again.
Tell a friend. But yeah, it looks like they're not going to be able to do much of anything at this point in the game. Snake King is running to somewhere. Not sure where he's going. He does get a obvious stun off by Black Shane onto Snake King, and he does go down.
And you saw the game was, I mean, almost even in hero kills up until a second ago. It was like 19-22, even after that Roshan. But, of course, the gold was so one-sided. We see it's over 15,000 in the Dire's favor now, because if we look at these creep scores, for the Dire, we've got 3 people over 100, and the highest on the Radiant team is 86 from that Morphling. So some definite gold discrepancies between the two teams right there. Gold per minute wise, even Black Shatton on Skeleton King almost hitting that 600 gold per minute mark. So this game is probably about to wrap up right here as they start taking down this Radiant middle tower and barracks. I'd like to talk a bit about, you know, who played well and who might have made a few mistakes in the game. I always hate ragging on players, especially good players. I mean, everyone has their off game, so it's not like I have complaints against the players specifically, but just some mistakes they made in the game. So I really think that the MVP for the game was actually Pugna and not the Skeleton King. I mean, Skeleton King just did what he was supposed to do. He basically had no one approaching the creeps top because they were afraid of a tri-lane, so he was basically just killing creeps the first 10 minutes of the game, and he got his Midas, and then he just farmed out of control like he was supposed to. But I thought Pugna did a really good job taking control of bottom, always having a TP on him so he could TP middle. You see the middle tower is actually still up, and the bottom tower is still up as well from the devoted defending he did along with the Venomancer. I think he was really good with his item pickups, the Mechanism and Force Staff, and he did a really good job of utilizing them both in pretty much all the team fights to help out his team as much as he could.
Right, he did get quite a few clutch saves with that Force Staff. I mean, we saw one right next to that Roshan where he was able to push Snoopy out of harm's way.
Yeah, people always... I will admit, it's difficult to play a carry really well. You have to be really good at finesse, know how to manage your time between farming and being present in team fights. But it's also really hard to play really good support. Like, managing your positioning so you always get off a mechanism to heal everyone in a fight, good force staffs, just knowing when you can bait, when you can use your magic wand charges to net a kill and, tip the tides of a battle. As well as buying wards in a courier, it's really hard to micromanage all that stuff. And I think Envelop did a really good job of it this game.
In regards to the bad play on the Radiant team, I really think that throughout the entire game, they just showed too much aggressiveness during the laning phase. I mean, how many kills did we see at the start of the game where they just basically handed them free kills? just because they were playing a little bit too over aggressive. Probably like what?
Yeah, like
6 at
yeah,
least.
at least 5 or 6. And with that, you see the Radiant Throne has gone down. Thank you very much for joining us for this cast. Once again, I'm WSOK, and joining me was Zegas. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and tune in next time. Thanks.